The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network.
Welcome. Happy Thursday. So happy to be here with you today, and so happy to be here on a non-rainy day. It was cold and rainy last week, but I told you all we're still getting ready for that weather. So make sure you go to Xclusively4U and check those coats out, because we do have new coats in the boutique. But I hope everyone has had a wonderful Thursday. We have a beautiful guest coming today. There you go. Lisa's excited. Yes, I'm very excited about this guest today. She's a phenomenal woman. I'll tell you all about her later. And she will be coming up with us after our commercial break. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our announcements. And you know we have a lot of things going on, and we have some wonderful people who have had birthdays. So we have to do our birthday shout outs. We want to shout out Mr. Willie Good, owner of GCI Trucking Company. So if you see those good trucks going by your house and the trash trucks picking up your trash, that's Mr. Willie Good. Give him some hearts. We want to say happy birthday to him. Mr. William Savage, happy birthday to you, my Facebook buddy. Every morning I put out a post and he says good morning. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have having a wonderful day, because your day is actually today. Also, I have a couple of family members who've had birthdays this week and who are having birthdays this week. Pastor Russell Smith, down there in Urbana, Virginia. Happy birthday to you, cousin. And Dawn Scott, who's here in Washington, D.C. Happy birthday to you, beautiful. And Aunt Edna and Aunt Evelyn. Edna Pittman and Evelyn Williams. Those are my aunts. I would like to wish you happy birthday, and I hope you enjoyed your days as well. All right, Tigressa Sings Natalie. Remember, she's going to be at the Kennedy Center December 1st. Did you get your tickets? Let me say that again. Did you get your tickets? Let's go out and support Tigressa. She is going to be singing everything that Natalie Cole has out there. And let me tell you, you're going to be sitting there in the Kennedy Center thinking you're listening to Natalie Cole. So get your tickets. Have a date night. It'll be a great night out. Black Friday special. Unlimited events at the Den. I've been announcing this for the past maybe the past 4 or 5 shows. They're having a Black Friday special. Every Friday in October and November. $500 with security. You can rent their venue for $500 with security. But guess what? There's only 2 Fridays left. So if you have an event that you need to schedule, you need to call Shaquita Pettis or Robin Johnson right away, because there's only 2 Fridays left, at 301-357-6466. You need that number again? 301-357-6466. 2 Fridays left. You have that big birthday party celebration. You have a family dinner you want to set up. You have a church conference you want to do. You have a girls' tea you want to do. Anything you like to do. Beautiful venue. They will decorate for you. They will do it all. So check them out. Also, Diamonds and Pearls event, pop-up event, is going to be at Unlimited Events at the Den. Of course, hosted by yours truly, Xclusively4U, and Big G and Family Catering. We do have a couple of vending spots left. So please, please, please contact me. Inbox me today if you're interested in vending. We have a lot of amazing vendors out there. So you want to come out, invite your friends out so you can start your Christmas shopping, and let's get things started. Thanksgiving special. Big G, of course, he will be doing his turkeys. He have all kinds of turkeys, fried turkeys, special seasoned fried turkeys, smoked turkeys, seasoned smoked turkeys, smoked chickens, special season smoked chickens, ribs, and delivery within a 10-mile radius with a small extra charge. So if you're interested, inbox myself or Big G himself, Mark Green, which is my husband. Make sure you contact us real soon because the list is filling up. Okay? Also, I had another announcement I didn't have a paper for, but Anissa Twinkie Hargrove, she will be singing Saturday night at Social 228 at 8:30 p.m. This is a free event. Let me say that again. This is a free event. Social 228, Anissa Twinkie Hargrove will be singing. Day night, go out, or girls night. Take some friends out, go out and support her. Local in Waldorf. It's right off at 228, Social 228 in Waldorf. So make sure you go out and support her. And I want to share our scripture for the day our scripture for the week before we go into our commercial break. We have 2 Corinthians 9:8. And God is able to bless you abundantly so that all things at all times have all that you need. You will abound in every good work. Let's live it in overflow, y'all. I'll see you at the commercial break with the beautiful Pastor Alicia Williams, the Velvet Voice.
Today, we'd like to welcome Pastor Alicia Williams to the Lisa Harris Green Show. Alicia Williams is no stranger to the excruciating pain experienced when family dreams and lifelong investment turn into a horrifying nightmare. What do you do when the man who vowed to protect you becomes a source of fear? The messages of pain can long outlast the traumatic experience itself. How do you heal and move forward? A lover of God for almost 40 years, ordained minister, featured speaker, worship leader, private tutor and learning strategist, professional voice actress, mother of 6 and grandmother of 4, Alicia is dedicating her voice to provide an emotionally safe, shame, and bitter-free approach to helping women find healing and freedom. Alicia welcomes you to reach out to her on Instagram at velvetvoice_artist or on her website at www.aliciawilliamsvo.com.
Back. I'd like to introduce this beautiful young lady to you, Pastor Alicia Williams. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I am honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you here.
I appreciate that.
Oh, it is such a blessing when you reach out to folks and you ask them to come and join you on your show, and they say yes.
Yeah.
That's an honor. Because I sat back and I said, okay, I'm going to start the show, but am I going to have the guests that I need? And I am so elated that you said yes, and I'm so elated to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the Velvet Voice. So many people want to know, what's the Velvet Voice? So tell us all about yourself.
Well, the Velvet Voice is, I'm a professional voice actress. I do a little bit of everything. I do audiobook narration, commercials.
Mm-hmm.
There are voices around us all the time, and until I stepped into this industry, I really didn't realize how many voices you hear with no face.
Okay.
Well, I'm one of those voices now, so I'm out here. You might hear me anywhere. So
Okay.
I do corporate narration, e-learning, the digital training that corporations use.
Okay.
To train their employees. They have to have a voice for that. Telephone, when you call a company and you're on hold,
Yes, yes.
you hear a voice on there. Well, there are thousands of us out here
Yes.
bringing voice to messages that need to be communicated.
And see, that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, this was my first guest who read her own bio and sent it to me. And I thank her for that, because that freed Lisa up for a little bit. But I thought that was a blessing.
Yes.
So that was very nice of you. I appreciate
I
that.
thought it would be appropriate, I mean,
Yes.
I am a voice artist to do my own voiceover for the introduction. So.
Okay, okay. We also had a title on there, Beauty Not the Beast.
Beauty Not the Beast.
Yes.
Yes.
Thought I forgot about that, didn't you?
No, I hope not.
Yeah, so tell us about Beauty Not the Beast.
Well, the thought behind Beauty Not the Beast for this segment was really to grasp the heart of my story.
Okay.
My heart goes out. I've been through some things. October is also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know that. We are trying to bring awareness to so many things.
Right.
And so we share this month along with breast cancer awareness and several other things as well. So autism, it's Autism Awareness Month.
Yes.
I wanted to bring a different face and an awareness to the reality that domestic abuse is very much alive in the faith-based community. And the face of it has changed.
Yes.
As I was seeking help, and I'm going to tell you why I had to seek help, I discovered, going to one agency or another, I look at the posters that were on the wall, and it always showed a woman who looked like she had been hit several times. There was physical signs that she had been abused.
Okay.
But domestic abuse is more than physical. And I did an extensive post on my Instagram from Friday till today to bring awareness to this. I did a detailed post, 10 pages, describing what domestic abuse looks like. So please check that out. I don't want to use this time to go into that right now. But after 30 years of marriage, do a flashback story, I found myself calling 911 to come and get my husband because things had gotten to the point where I feared for my safety. I feared for my family's safety. That should never happen. I'm a pastor. We pastored a church for 18 years together, and then I continued to pastor 2 more years afterwards. So here I am. We taught a lot on relationships. We did a lot of conferences. I've been a minister, I was sharing with you, since I was in high school. I started training for ministry under the mentorship of a great man and woman who really took me under their wing and took me through the course. I mean, I studied the traditional homiletics, hermeneutics, you know, Hebrew, Greek, you name it. But I had a passion for communicating the truth.
Okay.
You know, the church, I love the church, and I believe that the church is supposed to be a place that God meant for the church to be a place where people can heal.
Right.
Where they can explore and discover the greatness that's inside of them. And I don't believe that you can truly embrace that without God, because God is love.
Yes, He is. Yes, He
If
is.
we could just put aside our doctrine, our do's and don'ts, our rituals, our routines, our need to earn, perform, and be rewarded, and really understand that God is love, and break this relationship back to a place of knowing God as love, I think we will actually see some healing take place. I'm about health, Lisa. I'm about being healthy, and I'm sad to say that in my journey, I pastored for 20 years.
Yes.
I love church and what it's meant to be and what it can be.
Exactly.
But I've also been in the church for 4 decades. 4 decades I have watched the church change, in not just locally, but across this nation.
Exactly.
And in my time of despair, I think for me, gaining insight from the inside out, being able to see what this is like. My husband's a pastor, a minister. You know, I didn't drag him into the ministry. You know, it wasn't that type of scenario. But there were wounds in his life that he was not addressing.
Okay.
And as he grew more and more discontented with himself, he looked for ways to express that. And it was very unhealthy. I saw it. I talked to him about it. I begged him to get help. I asked him to leave at one point. I wanted to separate and give him time to just get the help he needed. And since he didn't want me to be there, work with him on it, I thought maybe if I separate, we'll go separate ways. He can do what he needs to do, get what he needs, not have to worry about that. Wasn't enough. It got to the point where my family and I were living in a hostage situation.
Wow.
There are so many misconceptions about domestic abuse and about the women who go through it. Please hear me when I tell you that not everyone who is still in the house with their abuser is staying. Some women are stuck.
Oh my God.
I experienced what is known as narcissistic abuse, the mental abuse, the verbal abuse, the financial abuse, causing loss of income, diverting funds away from the family and the necessities that we live. I spent time in the dark, in the cold, because we lived in an all-electric house, and he was taking money for things that were needed for home and spending it elsewhere. So when I tell you I felt this, and I loved this man, we were not the couple who, nowadays, you know, people fight and argue and call each other names, and they say, you know, but we ride or die. No, we weren't that couple. And even in everything that I saw him doing, it was a process that I saw, and I tried to, you know, reach out. This is my friend. I wouldn't walk away from a friend who was going through something like this.
Wow.
But at the same time, I was at the courthouse. I ended up having to get the law involved to remove him from the presence of the family. He was that unhealthy, that toxic, that dangerous. 6 days later, I was in the emergency room at the local hospital, being admitted because I knew my body was going through the stress of this, was taking me to a place, and it was getting faster and faster. It was picking up. I made an appointment to see my primary doctor. All my insurance was new, so I had to start out brand new doctors, and the doctor called me and said, you need to get to ER right now. Well, they forgot to tell me I shouldn't drive. My hemoglobin was down to a 3.5, which means I had very little oxygen in my blood. And my blood volume was down to 11.1. It was so low. When I arrived in that ER, the triage nurse said, she looked at my labs and said, I've never seen anyone in this hospital alive with those type of numbers.
My God. Whew. Have you all ever seen Lisa not have anything to say? Well, she just got stuck at that point there. Oh my goodness, it's a blessing to see you where you are today. And whew, we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and hear a little more of what Pastor Williams have to tell us. We'll see you in a few seconds. Welcome back. Wow, this is really something to look at this beautiful lady and say, and listen to her story as to what she's been through. Again, I'm never shut down where Lisa doesn't have anything to say. She shut me down today. Because when you sit there and listen to what you've been through, that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And to look at you, you're a soldier. You're a survivor.
And I'm still in that battle. You know, I believe that we need to make space in the church for people who have been traumatized. We need to educate ourselves. We have spent decades telling people that their soul is in the way, that their emotions are in the way of them being spiritual. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. I found the love, knowing God as love, increased exponentially. My awareness of how loving God truly is came to light in this situation. I mean, I've never seen this kind of darkness in my life. Even my kids, no matter how old your kids are, this is traumatic. You know? And then to lose your father, and then I was fighting for my life physically. I was hospitalized 4 times in just a few months because my blood kept dropping, and I was fighting. I had issues going on that sonograms had not picked up. I had to find a surgeon. I had to fight through egos, surgeons not wanting to, doctors not wanting to work together. And meanwhile, I'm fighting for my life, and it was like I was invisible. When I sought help, I went to counselors, I went to county programs. People really didn't understand how to communicate with me. When a person walks in and their world has fallen apart, has blown, it was like the worst train wreck you ever want to see. My whole world was upside down. We lost our home. I mean, everything. And people were so insensitive to how to speak to that, how to validate. So many women are treated. I had a police officer tell me, out of all the domestic calls he had ever taken, that I was the only one who had gotten out. But it is not easy to get out, and I need the women to know, I feel you. I'm here, I get you. I don't want you to feel like you're out here by yourself. It's easy for people to stand on the outside and judge and say, why don't she just leave him? Why don't she do this? You're not in it. You don't know.
Or even to say, this is happening to a pastor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make anyone
No one's exempt
from
no
this.
one is exempt.
Exactly.
You know, because it doesn't originate from, it wasn't about me. It was about his pain. And it was fighting to find its way out, but I was not going to stay and allow him to, because he was snapping, you know, very much could have done something and look back and say, oh my God, what have I done? And I wasn't going to be there for that. I didn't want my kids, and I have a son who at the time that I had to get the order, he was still a teenager. And rolling into his 20s, there was a confrontation between them because my son is not going to stand there and let you physically do anything to his mother. That's just, no son is going to stand by and do that. But I saw what it did to him, to have to, he loved his father, respected his father. We had, all our kids are very respectful. They grew up in ministry. They love the community. We've done community outreach. I've been a private tutor for a couple decades, and I did a community free tutoring program for years. Outreach events, that's my heart. But I want the women to know you have a voice. You have a right to speak up. You have a right to help. And you have a right to the kind of help. Go to a counselor who is trained in traumatic stress. Because I still dealt with nightmares, post-traumatic disorders as a result of so much happening so fast, all at once. And when I finally got to a point where things could calm down enough for me to be able to think, you're just trying to catch your breath. And that's where being a voice, I trained for voice acting while this was going on.
Wow.
Because I am a warrior.
That's right.
And the last thing I wanted to do was to show my kids that I gave up. They lost their father. I didn't want them to lose their mother too. And so I fought for my life, and I trusted the love of God to give me the strength to do it.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for being transparent. I thank you for sharing your story with so many that are scared to share their story.
Yeah.
Because I had no clue. If you look at the outside, we try to say, she doesn't look like she's been through that. She doesn't look like she has this. And wow.
God is love.
Yes, He is.
That's love working on me.
Beauty, not the beast.
Embracing me to bring
right.
out the beauty and not the bitterness.
Yeah. So if someone needs to get help, can they get in touch with you, or do you have somewhere for them they can call?
They can reach me. You can reach me. My website is www.aliciawilliamsvo.com. You can also reach me on Instagram. I am velvetvoice_artist. I will be launching a platform in the beginning of the year, January, called The Breathing Room. And it is for people to come and breathe. I felt like I was suffocating in that situation. And I'm going to tell you honestly, Lisa, I stayed out of church so I could stay close to God, to love. And I never would have said that before. But I kept finding the same thing everywhere I went. I was berated, I was condescended to, I was patronized, and I said that was more detrimental to me than even what I was going through with my former pastor husband.
Well, we're definitely going to have you back.
I would love it.
I thank you. I thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
I know that you all have enjoyed this broadcast, and please give up a lot of hearts for it, because I see a lot of folks on there. I can't go through each one, but I will acknowledge your messages in a little bit. But we will see you next week. I have my first male guest coming next week, and I'm excited to have him. So Mr. Dana Bailey will be on the show next week. So we will see you next week, and we'll meet you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. God bless you all, and we love you to life. Thank you.